Good morning, dear children. Welcome back to our next video session of English 2 of Class 7. I hope you all are keeping healthy, safe and fit. Children, you must have studied about many famous personalities till date. Today, we are going to learn about one such famous personality who, with her inventions, have contributed to a major level in the field of science, because of which today the doctors are able to diagnose and treat serious health issues.
The chapter that we are going to learn today is titled as Marie Curie, A Radiant Life. This is an excerpt, which means an extract, taken from her biography written by Eve Curie. Eve Curie was born a year after her parents received a Nobel Prize for Physics and for their research concerning radioactivity. Although Eve Curie earned bachelor's degree in science and philosophy in 1925, her real aptitude was music and writing, which her mother always encouraged. Eve Curie's frequent classical piano recitals across France and Belgium were interspersed with musical reviews written for various publications. In the 1920s and 30s, she was widely noted for her beauty. During a 1921 tour of the United States with her mother, the American press called Eve Curie the girl with radium eyes. She gained fame as a concert pianist, writer, and biographer. This account, condensed from her famous biography for her mother, Madame Curie, appeared in the Reader's Digest in 1959.
Yes, our second chapter is about Marie Curie. Marie Curie, a radiant life, who studied and mastered in radiology. She was a physicist as well as a chemist. Yes, she studied and mastered in both the subjects, physics as well as chemistry. She was also a Nobel Prize winner. I will summarize the life history of Marie Curie, through this video clipping. Please listen to the video clipping carefully.
Today we are going to learn about the famous scientist Marie Curie. Marie Curie was a physicist and a chemist and is best known for her studies of radiation. She was born on November 7, 1867 in Warsaw, Poland. Her parents were both well educated. Her father taught physics and mathematics. Mary had 3 elder sisters and an elder brother. But one of her sisters and her mother died while she was 10 years old. Young Mary had a sharp and curious mind and did well in her studies. She graduated at the age of 15 and wanted to attend the university at Warsaw. But the Warsaw University did not admit her as she was a woman. Thus, Mary and her elder sister planned about it. Mary's elder sister used to go to France to study medicine, and Mary would work in Poland to support her sister. They planned that once her sister's study was over, Mary would go to France to continue with her own studies. As planned, in 1891, when Mary was 24, she moved to France and started her university education. She had studied hard and read a lot and was focused to become a scientist. But her sister's home was far away from the university. So, she rented a small room nearby her university. But she faced a lot of difficulties there. Besides finances, the courses were taught in French, and Marie was not well versed with French language. Determined to achieve her goal, Marie studied at day and tutored at night to earn money. But she barely had enough to live on. She was too poor to buy food. At times, she survived merely on bread, butter, and tea. And she was so interested in studies that she forgot to eat at times and even fainted at times out of hunger. Despite all these hardships, Marie was successful in achieving a master's degree in physics in 1893 as a top student of the course. She earned the second degree in 1894. Marie met Pierre Curie, who was also a scientist. Through their scientific work together, they both got close and planned to marry. But she refused to marry as she wanted to return to Poland to her family. She did so and tried to work as a scientist in Warsaw, but was refused to study there as she was a woman. She came back to Paris and married Pierre in 1895. They had two daughters, Irene and Eve. Mary decided to go ahead for PhD. At that time, no woman had studied for a doctorate in science. For her topic of research, Mary decided to study uranium. Recent discoveries showed that X-ray could travel through skin and muscles. Uranium could produce rays that could travel through metal. Marie called such materials radioactive. She tested all possible materials that could produce such rays and found two more materials that were even more radioactive than uranium. Pierre was so influenced with her hard work that he stopped his research and joined and helped her in her research, and together they invented two new radioactive elements, polonium, which was named after Marie's home country, Poland, and the other element was radium. In 1903, Marie earned a doctorate in physics, the first woman in Europe to do so. The same year, Marie and Pierre were awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics. After that, Pierre became a professor at the University of Paris. Unfortunately, he was killed in a traffic accident in 1906. The university decided to offer his position to Marie. So, she was the first woman to become the professor there. In 1911, she was awarded the second Nobel Prize for Chemistry for her discoveries of radium and polonium. By this time, she was a famous scientist and was offered a job at a university in Warsaw, which was her home country, hometown. But she turned the offer down. She wanted to build up a research library in Paris in Pierre's memory, and continued with her research work until World War I. During World War I, she created mobile X-ray trucks to help the battlefield surgeons to treat the wounded soldiers. Approximately 1 million soldiers were treated in these X-ray units. After the World War, she worked to raise money for her research institute. But she became very sick. Long exposure to radioactive materials without any safety measure damaged her body. She died on July 4, 1934, from an illness caused by radiation. Marie made many scientific breakthroughs in her lifetime. She was the first woman to win a Nobel Prize. She was the first person to win 2 Nobel Prizes and the only person in history to earn them in 2 different sciences. Marie's research laboratory, now called the Curie Institute, is one of the leading research centers in the world. Today, she is remembered as one of the most well-known scientists in history. I hope you will enjoy learning about this famous and determined scientist, Marie Curie.
Now children, what is radiation? Radiation, basically, you'll be studying it in your subject science, but still I'll just give you a brief meaning of what radiation is. Radiation are basically very powerful rays which you can neither see nor feel, but it has a very strong impact on the body of humans as well as animals. So dear children, as you all heard about Marie Curie, let us now proceed further with reading the chapter. I will be displaying a small clipping of a paragraph on your screen. Since you all don't have your books with you, you can read one paragraph at a time. I'll be displaying some content on the screen and I'll be reading that. Simultaneously, you can just go through what is displayed on the screen, or you can read it in your mind simultaneously along with me. And then after that, I'll be explaining that paragraph in brief. Along with that, I'll be writing few word meanings of that particular part that we read out, and I'll explain you the word meanings. In today's session, we'll be doing only half of the chapter, and the rest of the chapter we will be continuing in our next video class. So let us start.
Marie Curie's work on radium and radiology has been one of the greatest glories of modern science. Let's read an excerpt from her biography written by her daughter Eve Curie. In the autumn of 1891, a young Polish émigré named Marie Skłodowska excitedly registered for the science course at the Sorbonne in Paris. Too shy to make friends, she lived a life of monastic simplicity, devoted to study alone. From a small income, she had to pay for her room, meals, clothes, and expenses at the university. When she wanted a feast, she bought 2 eggs or a piece of chocolate with some fruit. Marie met Pierre Curie in 1894. A French scientist of genius, Pierre, like her, was devoting body and soul to scientific research. Immediate sympathy brought them together, and in a few months, Pierre asked Marie to be his wife. But to marry a French man meant she had to leave her beloved, oppressed Poland. And so, 10 months passed before Marie finally accepted.
Okay, so children, as we read the first paragraph, let us understand a few word meanings and then I'll explain you the paragraph. Now, the first term that we come across is radiology. Radiology basically is a medical discipline, as I explained you earlier. It's a medical discipline that uses medical imaging. Imaging is to, maybe you can just keep in your mind like clicking photographs, to diagnose and treat disease. For example, you must have seen, all of you, I feel you must have gone for some x-ray, right? Or maybe you must have seen somebody getting that x-ray done in the hospital for some of the other problem. Now that x-ray is because of radiology. That is a part of radiology. Then you must have heard about CT scan. CT scan is what? A patient is kept under a machine which scans or which goes inside the human skin and finds out if there is any problem inside the human body. Then there is MRI. This is also the same thing, but a little depth. This goes into a little depth which gives a little more clarity to it. The next term that we learn is polish. Now polish here, don't think about that polishing. Polish here means Marie Curie belonged to Poland, right? So she left Poland and she came to France. Now a person who stays in Poland is called as Polish. For example, let us understand India. We all are called as Indians. Why? Because we stay in India. Now children, as you heard the video clipping which I showed in the beginning of the session, you saw that Mary along with her elder sister, they had planned that since they were not getting admission in their own home city, that was Warsaw, so what they had planned was that elder sister would study medicine in Paris, and then after she completes, and Mary would support her financially, she would work and support her. After she finishes studying medicine, then Mary would go to Paris and seek admission over there. So this is how they had planned, and actually it worked out. So she was very excited because she was very much focused what she has to study, what she has to become in her life. So she excitedly took admission in the field of science over there in Paris. And then finally over there, when she took admission, she was not very much financially strong, and she did not enjoy a lavish life just like the students studying over there had. But she never felt sad about it. She was only interested in studies. So what she used to do, she used to work and she used to barely meet her daily expenses. Sometimes she did not even have enough food to eat. But she somehow managed and survived. And whenever she felt like she wanted to have a feast or she wanted to have a good celebration, to eat something good, what she used to do, she used to purchase 2 eggs or maybe a chocolate along with that fruits. That was the only celebration that she had, a feast, you can call it as a feast. Now next, after this, as she was studying, she met Pierre in 1894. Now Pierre was a Frenchman. He was also a scientist, he was also studying in the same field. Now since they both worked together, he was very much impressed by looking at her hard work and her dedication. So slowly, as and when they worked together, they came a little closer and they both planned to marry. But since he belonged to France, Mary could not marry him, because then she had to leave her hometown, Poland, which she never wanted to do. So she went back, she denied, and she went back to Poland to her family. She tried to work as a scientist over there, but as the situation was the same, she was denied admission over there to work as a scientist or to study as a scientist. So what happened is, she came back after 9 or 10 months, she came back, and then finally they both agreed and they both got married.
Their life together in a little flat was singularly lacking in comfort. They refused the furniture offered to them by Pierre's father. The bare quarters were furnished only with books, 2 chairs, and a white wooden table. On the table were treatises on physics, a lamp, a bunch of flowers, and that was all. Little by little, Mary improved her housekeeping wisdom. She invented dishes which needed little preparation or could be left to cook themselves. Before going out, Mary would regulate the flame with a physicist's precision. Then, in a quarter of an hour, bent over other containers, she would regulate the flame on a laboratory burner with the same careful gesture.
Now, after their marriage, they both were very happy, leading a very happy life, because basically their work, their subject, everything was very common. Though they lacked in comfort, they did not have a comfortable life, a lavish life. They had a very less furniture, but they were happy. The mere furniture that they had in their house was 2 chairs, a wooden table, and a few books. And on the table were kept treatises. Now, what is treatises? Let me explain you. Treatises is a serious written work, systematically written with a subject. Now, they were studying physics. So, whatever the content, the matter they used to study, they used to invent, they used to keep a draft or a written content of that, which was always kept on the table. This shows how much both of them were involved in studying and in researching physics. Now, they did not have much furniture, so Pierre's father offered them some furniture, but they did not accept any kind of help from him. Now, children, Mary she had never done any kind of household work, so she was not very much aware of that household work much. So she kept on, and plus she did not want to devote much time working in the kitchen or doing household work, though you cannot just skip away from that. She had to do that. So somehow she started learning and she started discovering such dishes which either needed very less time for preparation, or she invented such dishes which just she kept on the flame and she left that flame and the things would get cooked on its own. So this is how she used to, whenever she used to cook something, she used to very carefully, precisely means very carefully, she used to slow down the flame of the burner, and within next 15 minutes you used to see her in the laboratory doing the same, doing carefully, slowing down the burner. So this is how, see how balanced she led her life. She balanced with her household work as well as with her the research that she was and study that she was going on with. So she managed with both the things very nicely.
When her daughter Irene, a future Nobel Prize winner, was born, the idea of choosing between family and the scientific career did not even cross Mary's mind. With Pierre's support, she kept house, watched her baby daughter, but she also kept on working in her laboratory, working towards the most important discovery of modern science. Pierre Curie, who had followed the rapid progress of his wife's experiments with passionate interest, now abandoned his own research in order to aid with hers. 2 brains, 4 hands now sought the unknown element in the damp little storeroom that served as their laboratory. By July 1898, they were able to announce the discovery of a new element. Mary named it polonium, after her beloved Poland. In December of the same year, the Curies announced the existence of a second new chemical element which they called radium, an element whose radioactivity they believed to be enormous.
Now, rapid here means moving with a great speed. She was progressing fast. Passionate, she had a passionate desire, means she had a very strong feeling. She was very much focused what she was studying and what she has to do in future. Now, after a few years of their marriage, They were blessed with two daughters, Irene and Eve. Irene also won a Nobel Prize when she grew up. Mary, even despite having daughters, she never had a problem in choosing between her scientific career or between her family, because her husband supported her so much so that it was very easy for her to do the household work, to wash her daughters, and to carry on the most important work that she was doing, which she also never knew would give such a big contribution to the medical science in future. Now Pierre saw the dedication with which Mary was working. So he left his own research and he also joined Mary in her research. They had a storeroom which they had converted as a laboratory, and they both worked hard over there. Now it is said that two brains means one is Mary and one is Pierre. Two brains, four hands. They worked day and night, and they worked so hard that by July 1898, they were happy to announce about one element that they had invented, which was named as polonium. Now why they named it as polonium? Because Mary belonged to Poland. So because of that, she named that element as polonium. Then they kept on working, and by the same year, by December, they were happy to announce the existence of one more element which they named as radium, and it had a very huge radioactivity power. So to just brief you with what we studied today and what we read today, Mary was a very determined, hard-working girl. She struggled and she worked hard, and she was very much determined to become a scientist. She was very much focused. She was also supported by her husband. She not only fulfilled her responsibilities of her house, but along with that, she carried out with her research work, with her studies. Today, we'll be learning only this much. The rest of the chapter we'll be doing in the next class. Till then, please read the chapter again. I'm going to give you some word meanings and a few questions related to what we learned today. Please read the questions, understand, and then write down the answers in your own words. Till then, bye-bye. Take care.